Hello?
Being a waiter or waitress is a common job for the American teenager. Even some adults make being a server their livelihood. Personally, being a waitress got me through high school, keeping gas in my truck, allowing me to buy the expensive clothes I wanted, keeping my trips to the local food joints funded. However, the paychecks alone wouldn't have been able to fund all of my spending habits. A lot of what I made came from hard work, offering great guest service to every customer that walked through the doors. In response, they gave me tips. Today, I will be discussing the importance of tipping your waiter. Servers make less than 50% of minimum wage. When I was a waitress, I started out making $3.50 an hour. Unfortunately, that is a higher wage than normal for a waiter or waitress. According to the U.S. Department of Labor website, employers are only required to pay their tipped employees $2.13 an hour, which is designated in the Federal Fair Labor Standards Act. In Kansas, the minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. So how do we turn the $2.13 into $7.25 so that we are making at least the legal minimum? Tips. Not only the servers, but the employees and even the federal government depend on the gratuity that you leave your waiter. When you don't tip, you are impacting the entire economic system. Not tipping can cause an increase in the prices of food so that the company can make up for the fact that their servers aren't achieving a minimum wage. Now I know what you're thinking. Why is it your job to make up for the government allowing a lack of wages for your server? It can become a frustrating idea when you're made to feel like it's simply your responsibility to pay these workers' paychecks. However, that's not the case. No one is asking you to write these paychecks for your servers single-handedly. Common practice is that you at least tip $2 per person at the table, or 10 to 15% of the bill for poor service, 20% for good service, and 25% for excellent service. So if your check is around $30, that equates to around $4.50 for poor service, $6 for okay service to good service, and $7.50 for great service. When you go out to dinner, you should always factor in how much you were planning. You should always factor in the tip when figuring out how much you're looking to spend. Being a server is not an easy job. According to Observe, a restaurant insider webpage, 2 million people are waitresses or waiters. That equates to about 2% of the working public. Let's put that in perspective. According to information that I got from this Statista.com website, this is a pie graph of the working Americans. The overall number as of August 2019 is 132.16 million. That is all of this. And then we have the small little area of waiters and waitresses that makes up 2% of the working population. It's only 2.5 million people. Understandably, not everyone has the right stuff to become a server. One would be amazed at all the different scenarios and situations that anyone working a customer service job faces on a daily basis, let alone the ones waiters and waitresses deal with. The job is not easy, simple as that. People sometimes have crazy requests that can seem absolutely impossible to achieve. Sometimes you're put in uncomfortable situations, sexual harassment can occur, any number of things can happen. Tipping your server is kind of like a kudos to you for doing this job that nobody else wants to do. Serving can also be difficult, not only for the difficult customers that people work with, but also for anything that happens between the time you walk into the restaurant till the time that you walk out. All that stuff usually gets pinned on the server, whether it be the kitchen is taking too long with your order, or maybe they forgot to take the pickles off of your hamburger, or maybe it was your hostess not seating you in a timely manner. The server usually takes most of the heat for those actions. Taking away your waiter's tip because of something out of their control tends to happen much too often. Your server deserves to be tipped by their efforts to making your experience a good one. They shouldn't be responsible for things that happen that are completely out of their control. Now, sometimes you will get a server that's not doing their best. Sometimes they won't be the friendliest, or maybe they left you with an empty cup and you needed a refill for just too long. Even if that occurs, you should always leave your server something. Maybe just the lesser end, the 10 to 15% tip instead of the 20 to 25% tip. A lot of times it can be kind of like a learning experience for your server. If you leave them a lesser tip, they will get the hint and kind of realize that, wow, they should have done a better job. And then the opposite occurs for a good tip. If your server was doing well, you should leave them a better tip, so that way they can keep giving everybody great guest service and know that they did something correctly. While guests should never feel like it's their job to be paying their waiters' salary, it is important to keep in mind that these people that are working so hard to ensure that you're getting a great experience have lives outside of waiting tables. Some people are trying to keep the lights on at home or feed their families, pay all their bills. Some people are just trying to make it through college. Whatever it might be, they deserve to get a tip from you or I or anyone else that they might run into while they're waiting tables.
That's it.